So you guys have been wondering why your boy O'Shea has been grifting up Boyce Watkins as of late. And it's not because Boyce is like very important or he gets a lot of views here on the platform. I just look at Boyce Watkins as a guy who I feel is not very honest. And he comes after black men for disrespecting black women or disrespecting single mothers. And you could even be a black man that says, hey, I'm a man that doesn't have any kids. I don't want to be like you and date single moms. And then Boyce will, be very passive aggressive and talk about these group of black men who don't want to do X, Y, and Z or live a lifestyle according to his standards when it comes to dating or marrying black women, in particular, single mothers. But here's the case. If Boyce is going to have that particular mindset, he needs to have a track record that is impeccable when it comes to dealing or treating or working with black women. The information I'm going to share today, it's not anything about sexual immorality or anything with Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's not the case. But I do want to prove that the same guys who typically are, we love black women so much, those talking points, these are the same guys that have a history of being distrustful, using, allegedly not paying black women. And I've heard this not only from Michi X, but from several sisters, including Paris Milan in the past. So what I want to do is I want to focus on Michi X's video. Dr. Boyce Watkins just received karma for what he's done to black women over the years. And this has everything to do with the fact that Boyce Watkins lost his Facebook and Instagram account. So she used to work for Boyce Watkins for a few years. I'm going to let her tell her story, guys, and we're going to react to it. Let's get into the video.
Because I've been through this stuff as well. So anyway, with that said, now let's get into the thing that I came here to talk about. Dr. Watkins. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Dr. Watkins just had his Instagram and his Facebook banned. They gone. His Facebook page is gone. His Instagram page is gone. And I just want to say karma. I'm just going to say karma. That's the word for the day. Karma. Right?
It's kind of like the same karma that people like. I'm not going to say he said it word for word, but these little things that when Kevin Samuels died, it was karma, but let's continue.
Right? So I think that this is very poetic justice. I think that it is very fitting that Dr. Watkins is in this situation. I had some of you stupid people come over to my platform on Instagram and even here, y'all was saying shit like, Michi falls out with everybody. Dr. Watkins, Vicky Dillard, she's the problem. Some of y'all sound so stupid. Like, who doesn't know that? You don't know by now that Dr. Watkins has been running around here stealing from black women their ideas. He stole my domain and all of these things that he does. He owes plenty of women money and he wouldn't pay them. These are all black women, right? And this.
So wait a minute. Dr. Boyce Watkins steals domains. He steals ideas. He owes black women money and will not pay them. This is not me saying this. I've been saying in some of the videos, people think that I'm hating on Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't go around trying to make up allegations about people that I can't really substantiate. And this has been something I've heard from several black women who have either collaborated or worked with the Boyce Watkins. And this is the same guy talking about protecting black women. This is how he feels about them in general. Let's continue.
Right? And this is out here everywhere. Okay? He's been doing this shit since Yvette Cardell and Cynthia G. Women have been calling him on the shit that he does and not paying them and things of that nature. I just happen to be the woman that put my foot on his neck. I'm just the woman that happened to stand up to him. And it's amazing how y'all come over here and tell me that I'm the problem. I stood up for myself and all those other women because he was trying to shit on everybody. He sat on Tasha K. I thought it was real interesting about 2 weeks ago. When I saw it. I don't know how long ago it was, but I think it was about 2 weeks ago when they filmed it. That's when I saw it. And he was sitting up there talking about how he cares so much about black women. And she asked him about me, right? And he said, if Michi wanted to call me, I would have a conversation with her. Some people just can't work together. You're right. I would never work with you. You motherfucking, you a scandalous user, right? I would never work with you. So you can get that. You can take that off your lips, right? You're damn sure right about that. I would never work with you again. But it was just amazing how he was like, well, if Michi wanted to call me, I called you, Dr. Watkins. I did. I called you a bunch of times. I even called you on live in front of my audience just to show them that I was calling you. I texted you and everything else. You wouldn't respond, sir. And the crazy thing is for as much as y'all act like I'm causing a problem with Dr. Watkins, do you know that just a year ago, he just renewed my domain. So he's not willing to give it up. The reason you're going to the...
Whoa. Listen to this. This is something that Boyce Watkins always says. Give me some sad music.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a problem with me, hey, we can have a conversation on the phone.
He says that in some of the criticisms to my video, he's come in and comments, like, nigga, I don't want to talk to you, man. You're a lame guy, bro, from what this lady, and this is just in general from what I know about this guy. He always says we can have a conversation. The lady called him. He's over here being fake on Tasha K's platform, lying, and all of this. Again, lying. Then the domain that she wanted to register, he renewed it. He wouldn't even give it back to her. Just not telling the truth. All right? Just being phony and fake. And this is not the only person who said about this guy. Let's continue.
realmeechiex.com and not meechiex.com is because he stole my domain. While I was working with him, he took my shit.
So the realmeechiex.com because he owns meechiex.com. That's great, boys. You're a stand-up guy.
When I just told the man, I'm about to go build me a website for the stuff that I do next week. I go next week and you done bought my domain, but you forgot to tell me and then you never gave it back to me. Dr. Watkins is deserving for all of his platforms to be taken, right? All he does is steal from black women. All he does is take from black women. And y'all got the nerve to come over here and tell me I'm the problem. No, I'm just a fucker that stands up for themselves. You don't get to come bully me. See, I'm the bully repellent person. See, all these motherfuckers think y'all gonna bully somebody and then you meet little 5'2" Meechie and you don't know who you messing with because you don't get to bully me. You don't get to bully me.
Let me stop right there. You would think that people, and I'm gonna just be honest, you've heard allegations about these particular guys. Derek Jackson, Dr. Umar, Boyce. These are the guys who they have a pretty large female following, right? And they always talk about how you're supposed to treat women, what you're supposed to do for women. I've never heard anybody in the black manosphere, when I was associated with them, have these allegations ever. You're scamming women. You're taking money from women. You're not paying them back. I've never even heard of somebody saying, hey, you beat your wife. Never. But Boyce Watkins, the quote unquote protector of black women, allegedly is stealing their intellectual property and not paying black women, that he says that black men are disrespecting and that they're going over to the white man and it's our fault. But yet for the black women in his community, he can't even be honest. This is the same guy that gets on YouTube every day and calls out everybody else. He calls out Roland Martin. He calls out Steve Harvey. He calls out T.D. Jakes. He spends all his free time hating on other people on these platforms and not living up to what he's talking about. Let's continue.
Damn right you don't get to bully me, and I'm going to keep my foot on your neck. So at the end of the day, I just think it's very fitting, y'all. Dr. Watkins has lost over 1 million subscribers. I want y'all to know that this is karma. Y'all don't never get away with shit, and you should watch who you fuck with, because sometimes the karma that you do to other people that's coming to you, you can die, and that karma waiting for you in the next life. Y'all should watch who you and who you put your hands on, because you don't know who everybody is in the spirit, baby. So you better be careful, okay? I will say this. I remember for people who, somebody said, I don't even remember who it was. I was watching somebody's video finding out about Dr. Watkins. They said they don't think he deserves to lose his income and his platforms, and they hope that he gets them back. Well, I hope he never gets them back. I remember one of the last women's stories that said something about Dr. Watkins. And I believe her name was Dolores. Dolores had worked for Dr. Watkins for several years. She considered Dr. Watkins a friend of hers, not just somebody she worked for.
Listen to this. She considered Dr. Watkins a friend of hers, not just somebody who she works with. Well, let's continue.
And during the beginning of COVID, right, it hit. Everybody was struggling with money and finances. This woman broke her foot. Her foot was in a cast. She needed money to buy her crutches, which she could not afford. She was getting ready to be evicted because she was waiting on her paycheck from Dr. Watkins. He owed her over $4,000. She made a video about it, which she later took down. And my day ones probably remember that.
I remember this too.
So he let Dolores get evicted.
She also made some posts about this on Facebook.
He let a black woman with a broken foot not even be able to afford cast. She had worked for him for many years, had given her all to help him build the platforms that he had, and he straight up gave this woman his ass to kiss. She tried to call the man. He blocked her. She tried to say things on the platforms, the very platforms that she worked on and would work to make videos, and he would put the videos on those platforms. He blocked her off of all of them so she could say nothing to him. I hope that Dr. Watkins loses a whole lot of his income. Those were his biggest platforms. His YouTubes, they got a couple 100,000, but nobody watches that shit. It's 2,000 views here, 3,000 views there. Nobody's watching that shit. His most biggest and lucrative platforms were Instagram and Facebook, and I'm glad they're gone. I hope that he never fucking gets them back. That shit is called karma.
So, in all, one of the reasons why I keep making this a subject matter, because simply like for the guys who are always talking down on black men and trying to hold, black men to task, but you're living a different lifestyle from what you're talking about on your social media, a guy like me is going to have somewhat of an issue with that. All right. And that is because, again, you're out here grifting, selling these courses, selling these products, and you're making money, but you can't even pay the ladies that's helping you to do the job. That's slimy. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at again the episode of Fair Use. I'm out.